Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-doop-doop-doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down. Mom, Uncle Frank won't let me watch the movie, but the big kids can. Why can't I? Kevin, I'm on the phone. It's not even rated R. He's just being a jerk. Kevin, if Uncle Frank says no, then it must be really bad. That's the beginning of that movie.
Wow. Natalie, hello.
Hi.
Hello. Listen,
Hey.
I'm super excited because I just watched this movie that we're going to talk about today, and I have to give you a big, put your books down, gigantic sized confession.
Okay.
I have never really cohesively watched this movie all in one sit down. Like I've seen it here and there, but I've never sat down.
You didn't go see it during Christmas in the theater?
No, I did not.
Opening day like I did?
I did not. And so, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are talking about Home Alone. And before you guys turn off the podcast, because you're just like, what could they possibly say about Home Alone that hasn't been already said?
Everyone loves Home Alone.
I think everybody loves Home Alone. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's so
ever.
Good. And here's the thing. I've always been like a person who, wasn't into the hype, was too cool for the hype kind of thing.
You didn't want to like it because
I didn't want to like it.
Dorky to like.
Right.
You were too better than.
Right. Or whatever.
You're like, it's not pretty and pink. It's not deep.
Right.
And it is deep. I mean, you got Joe Pesci. That's pretty fucking deep. But you're like, it's just not very, deep. It's very simple. And I'm like way into more like emotional darkness and like poetry. Okay. There's no poetry slamming in this.
Right. Like I was going to wear my blazer to this episode, but then I decided that because too far.
But don't worry. I'm wearing my mock turtleneck for my poetry slam that I'm going to after this.
You look so good in a mock turtle, though.
Thanks.
You're like the only person besides Frank that I know that can rock a mock. I mean, you look really good in it. Yeah, great in a mock. So anyway, there's a reason why this is a classic, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we start with these Christmas Eve opening credits. John Williams' music has that excellent soundtrack. It's that music that is just like filled with whimsy.
That one?
No, it's like the real slow, like it probably is, but that's not the one I'm talking about. It's like the really excellent sound. It's like whimsy sound, Christmas sounds with like jingle bells, and then mixed with like Christmas and mystery kind of sounds. It's just I can't remember the melody right now, but it's just so good. The Home Alone just theme song. Everybody, just go listen to it. Put it on your Christmas mix. Anyway. So we open up in this movie it's Home Alone, everybody. I don't even know what year this is. Is it 1990? Okay. So this is right after our last episode we talked about Uncle Buck. I'm not sure when we talked about that, but we talked about Uncle Buck. Was that our last episode or maybe? I don't know. Maybe. So we're going into Home Alone now. So again, it's Macaulay Culkin and John Hurd as the dad. And it's Catherine O'Hara as the mom. And all the other characters besides Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, I don't even know who any of those other people are.
Well, Kieran Culkin is his real-life little brother was in the movie with him.
But he was like the little cousin that he didn't want to sleep in the same bed with. But before Moira, before Cookie Fleck, there was the mom from Home Alone, and it's Catherine O'Hara, and she's a redhead, and that's how I always think of her, as just like this redheaded,
well, from Beetlejuice,
beautiful. Yeah, she's just beautiful. So anyway, it's the 90s decor, it's the 90s clothes, it's the 90s house, it's the 90s everything. They're all in this big rush to get out the door because they're all going to go to France for Christmas, right? And
as you do.
It's as you do.
And John Hurd paid for everyone's tickets.
And
this is like a family of 40.
Yeah.
And I want to know what he does for a living.
With uncles and aunts and cousins. And there's like 800 people in this house, and they're all frantically getting ready to go. And it's just like all the shenanigans leading up to when they finally leave. Everybody knows the plot. Kevin gets left at home alone. And so Kevin is played by Macaulay Culkin. Yeah. Home Alone. Get it? Yeah. exactly.
Yeah, because he's home
We get it.
alone.
He's home alone. He's the one who's home
And
alone.
then part 2 is Lost in New York, because that's when he was lost.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I never saw part 2 for sure. You think that I never saw part 1 all the way. I never saw part 2. So
It's good.
should I watch it? Is it worth a watch?
It's another Christmas movie. It's great.
So, I mean, there's just this movie is full of the overarching story is that the kid is getting blamed for everything. He's just this little kid who gets scapegoated about everything. And they think he's a little jerk and he just ruins everything. It's like Kevin ruined Christmas kind of
And
vibes.
he leans into it because he's this little kid with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and they're
How
like,
could you
"Don't
not?
you ever?"
When you have 14 siblings, you're gonna develop a chip.
They're cousins, and then he has like 6 siblings or so. There's just like these families are huge, a lot of kids, and they're like, "Don't you know how to knock phlegmwad?" Like, there's all these great lines. Don't you know how to knock phlegmwad? And like, old man Marley, the guy next door, is his shovel slayer. Like, there's this rumor that this old man has killed people with a shovel at Christmas time. You know, he's just always getting blamed for everything. Finally, also, we see that Joe Pesci is a cop and he enters the building, their house, and is like, "I'm just looking out for you guys to make sure that, everything's cool. Everything's okay. We're just trying to go around the neighborhood. Christmas time, there's a lot of robberies. We're just clearly something is up," because then we give this little clue and his little gold tooth shines, bing, and we see that he's evil because he has an evil smile.
He's casing the joint.
And then we're like, oh, yeah, okay.
He's trying to see who's out of town so that he and his partner
can rob people.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, the family goes to France. Kevin has been banished to his room because he got in trouble the night before. They're all supposed to leave the next morning. He goes up into the attic bedroom. P.S. By the way, the attic bedroom could not be more perfect with the couch that is a pull-out couch, and then like the 80s bedding that's like the old bedding on there. It's just like all the details in this movie are so freaking perfect. This is another reason why I always thought it was like a kids movie or something. I didn't realize how much it's a feast for my 90s heart.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It is.
It really is. So anyway, Kevin says, "I hope I never see any of you jerks again." And he's like really, really mad. And his mom is like, "You should be careful what you say because, your family, blah, blah, blah." And, so they finally get out. And next morning he wakes up and nobody's there. And there's been a terrible storm that has knocked out the power. And so the clock's alarms don't go off. And apparently the phones don't work either, because that's another part of this movie that's just like a little bit suspended
we'll
disbelief.
Have to touch on that in a minute. Go ahead.
But so they accidentally count the kid across the street, who's this little busybody, when they're counting heads and they don't see his face. They count him. They think Kevin's with them. Of course, the mom then figures out mid-airplane in first class as they're sitting there, "Do you think it's bad that we made everybody else sit in coach, but we're in first class?" And he's like, "Hell no." It's like their parents are just so good. And P.S. when she's on the airplane, she's putting on her lipstick with a lipstick brush. And I was like,
classy
my God,
lady.
Bring back the lipstick brush. Remember that was like a little compact and you had and then you just, oh my God, I really want to do that again. Do people still do that?
Lipstick.
Does that exist still? I want to do that. Where?
Yeah.
Who sells that makeup? I want to do it.
Stila. Lots of people.
Stila. Oh, okay.
Lots of people. Yeah. Huh. I'll get you one.
Anyway, so you get me one?
Yep.
All right, for Christmas. Good.
Yep.
Anyway, so I wrote it down a whole bunch of details. For example, she's putting on her lipstick with lipstick brush. The kitchen, Kevin goes down to the kitchen. The kitchen is this booming, bustling kitchen scene. It's got a pot rack hanging over the island. I'm like, oh, the pot rack, the 90s decor, the wallpaper, the tile, the brown cabinets, the gold accents. There's so much wallpaper and just this house. I don't know. He realizes, it's like, I made my family disappear. Oh no. And so this is the beginning of Kevin is like, be careful what you wish for, right?
Well, he's
be
like,
careful what you ask for.
And then he's stoked.
And then he's
like, he honestly doesn't believe it yet.
Yeah.
He thinks they're all playing a joke on him because he's like, I'm about to eat all the ice cream.
Yeah.
You better come out and stop me. And let me just preface that.
Go ahead.
This movie, it could happen. Okay. But,
probably never happened.
Child Protective Services would have gotten involved so early on.
I know.
And Catherine O'Hara figures out that they lost Kevin. Okay. Kevin, she can't get there. He's not answering the phone, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
She won't call
The
him.
phone isn't ringing.
She's trying to get back to Chicago,
Yeah.
and it's just, planes, trains, and automobiles.
It
Poor
is.
Catherine O'Hara, where she actually ends up meeting John Candy.
Right.
But this movie is it is obviously a sensational, fun movie,
Yes.
but it's one of those movies you're like, I mean, if this actually really happened,
It would be
it'd be some
horrendous.
major trouble.
Yeah.
And
well, she does call the cops and they're like, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
those cops would have been absolutely completely torn apart by internal affairs would have ripped them a new one.
Yeah, internal affairs would have gotten involved. IF. I mean, I'm sorry, IA. Not IF. IF is intermittent fasting. Anyway, so listen.
So let's go to your favorite parts. Obviously,
yes,
besides the wallpaper,
everybody knows.
What do you?
Yeah. I mean,
what the shenanigans?
So here's my
combat.
thing. Yeah. So here's my thing. The robbers, Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci, are just a couple of Grinches. Basically, they're just jerks. They're going to go rob everybody in the neighborhood, but they're also just completely stupid.
They're idiots.
Total idiots. They have their calling card of turning on the water. Well, this is Daniel Stern. The wet bandits. They want to call them. Also, I kind of want to be in Paris for Christmas. It's just putting that out there.
I've done that. It's very nice.
I love that
I want to kill myself for saying that right now. Go ahead.
I do too. I really actually want to kill you too. The pizza place is called Little Nero's. Their slogan is "No fiddling around." Anyway, my whole thing about this is that I love how resourceful Kevin is because I like a whimsical.
He's a clear genius.
He is a genius. He's strung up.
He should be joining the CIA as an 8-year-old and not waste his time at school because he makes masterful booby traps.
Exactly.
And a whole thing that would take the government probably 6 months to do.
Yes.
This kid put together in an hour and a half and had time to make mac and cheese.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I was like, wow, this is pretty intense. Especially why were there so many mannequins in their basement though?
What, so many mannequins?
Why do they have so many mannequins in their basement? I didn't understand
Maybe
that.
Catherine O'Hara used to own a retail shop.
Right.
There's so much subject for interpretation of backstory here.
We don't know. We just don't know.
Why? And also, why do burglars not look down if they're barefoot for whatever reason? And this movie provides lots of situations where they're barefoot.
He's barefoot because
why would you not look down where you are going to stand and smash on ornaments?
Right. There's a lot of that.
This kid developed a complete transportation system with what is that called?
A pulley system. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but he also it's like a.
You mean the thing? Oh, the thing where you have the ball.
You ride across the wall. You ride across a thing.
Oh, a zip line.
Zip line. He creates his own zip line system.
Yeah, he did. He created his own zip line.
He also is so smart that he can predict with these strange men that he doesn't really know. He knows what they're doing before they do it. Now, this is basically he could have been the star of Minority Report or,
He's Tom Cruise.
Also, he's Tom Cruise. He is he's tiny Tom Cruise.
He is tiny Mission Impossible.
This is Mission Impossible. Yep, tiny Impossible. Yes. And I mean, I just remember when my parents, we left and, they were laughing, Joe Pesci gets his head blown up and whatever and all this
on
stuff.
Fire,
the hand. It's so funny and slapsticky.
Yes.
And while my parents were hooting and hollering and laughing, it made a lot of parents nervous. Okay. All right. Whenever it was just know that none of that is allowed. None of that is okay to do.
You're not allowed to do any of this.
You're not allowed to set up booby traps around the house for your family.
Yeah. But it made me want to set up some booby traps.
I love a booby trap.
I mean, we used to booby trap. My brother used to booby trap his door and it would be, or he actually, I remember this specifically. He did set up a thing with a string that would be right by his bed that he could pull on the string and it would turn the light switch off.
See, I love that kind of shit. And it makes it's like Kevin McAllister. You put Kevin McAllister, you put Pee Wee Herman in a room, and you know what? All the world's problems are gone. And
let them go wild.
They are building a car out of a matchbook and tissue paper. Okay,
Exactly.
I mean, they can do it all.
Yeah, they can do it all.
Yeah.
Kevin McAllister, I think what we know about this is that he's a
He can
genius.
also,
Yeah.
there's so many other things with this too. Like he walks to the grocery store and uses coupons.
Yeah. I
And
know.
the lady, the checkout lady is not alerted. I mean, she looks a little weird about
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but she still gives him the stuff, uses the coupons and goes
Yeah.
about her day and isn't
Yeah.
like, oh, there's an unattended
Child.
8-year-old
Yeah, she does
child
question him, but then
buying milk.
she goes, "Where do you live?" And he's like, "I can't tell you that because I don't tell
'Cause you're a
strangers. You're a
stranger.
stranger, duh."
Yeah.
Like, basically, mental judo. I
But
mean,
he's just like walking around by
he's
himself, 8
brilliant.
years old, like
Yeah,
outsmarting burglars.
yeah. Also, there was another thing I never understood about this movie until I just watched it. So, I never understood why he puts his hands on his cheeks and screams.
Because
It's
he
because
used
he used
aftershave.
aftershave, and the aftershave burns.
Burns.
I
But it
did
wouldn't
not
really probably
know
burn his
that,
skin as he is a baby and
and
didn't
he
shave, but it went well. You know what? It lands,
and
okay? It's a
like
bit that lands
it's a bit that lands, and it gets done over and over,
over and over again.
and I'm like, "This must have
It's
just,
the
like"
cover of the movie.
Yes, this must have just, like, tested well with the audiences
Yeah, and
for
you know what? It
whatever
tested well
reason.
with me.
Yeah.
It sure did. It tested real well with me. Everything in this movie tested real well with me.
Yeah, I
I was
know.
in heaven.
Yeah, oh, me too.
I've watched this movie so many times
Yeah,
that I can recite it and
yeah,
I
your
used to
family
do it for
gets
my parents'
yeah.
dinner friends and like it
Oh,
was like a party trick.
that's
That and
hilarious.
Drop Dead Fred and
Right,
Clifford.
right.
But anyway,
But so the mom finally realizes that, Kevin is gone, so she is busting her ass trying to get back to Chicago to get her child, and nobody will give her a break. She even,
all
like,
of these
tries to
people hate kids
they
that are
all
working behind the desks.
she even
They
tries
give
to
two shits. The holidays make you not
yeah,
care about children, except for some people,
apparently.
because
Yeah,
they're like, she's like, can you please help me get my child? Like,
yeah,
I promise you, like, this is real. You know, back then, I guess it was like, snooze, you lose. Am I
right.
right, sis?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we're not going to make an
that it.
exception
Too
here.
bad. Yeah, too
And
bad.
she has to
You're on
like
your
give
own.
all her jewelry and all of these things and
Yeah,
cashier's checks and all this to get on the plane,
yeah,
on a plane for this couple.
right.
And they don't just like give her their spot. They do take all of her things.
Yeah. So she
But they do
finally
give up but
yeah,
that's not how she gets home.
right. So she finally ends up, after being on several flights to Texas and wherever, she has to get to Chicago. She ends up in Scranton. Now, let me tell you something. I have been to the Scranton airport, my friend. It is a small, small airport. There are like 5 or 6 runways. It is a
Why
small
were you
airport.
there?
Because my friend Adam
Oh
lives
yeah,
in upstate New York, and the
that's right.
closest airport to where he lives he lives in
So you
Eldred,
were
New York.
just in Scranton.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
you're like a
I'm a
don't
local.
hassle me, I'm a local t-shirt
We have
wearing Scranton person.
100%. We went to the bar in Scranton, and there was some a-hole sitting there, like, yelling at people and, like, making jokes and stuff, and we were just like, "Ugh," and the bartender lady was like, "Listen, I hope he makes it to his plane after after he walked away." I mean, people should know their limits. I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's getting a
Yeah.
little hairy over here in Scranton.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he's in Scranton, or she's in Scranton, and here comes John Candy to rescue her and save the day. Gus
As he
Polinski.
does, as he always does.
He's like, "I'm
What
Gus
movie does he not
Polinski."
save the day?
I know. He's like, "I'm Gus Polinski." And she's like, "Uh-huh." And he's like, You've never heard of me?" She's like, No. Polka King of the West.
Polka King.
We're very big in Sheboygan, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So he's like, "Listen, I heard your problem. And here's the thing. Our flight got canceled too. So this guy over here in our band, he's going to rent a budget truck. We're all going to get in the truck, and we're all going to we can drop you off in Chicago on our way to Milwaukee."
On our way to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. And so she gets in the back of this budget truck, and it's ladies and gentlemen, it's a moving van. So
Yep.
she's back there with a polka band on her way to Chicago, which, I mean, come on. That's
So
just that
fun.
little gag in and of
So
itself is
fun.
just so silly, right?
Yeah, love it.
This
Yes.
is why I just love the silly little jokes in this movie.
But you know what? We didn't see one thing of with
What?
her in this movie?
What?
Tears.
No, she does not. Right.
You have to. She's
Yeah.
rolling with the sitch,
Yeah,
and she is.
she
There are
is.
there's no tears.
I
She
know.
hates her kid.
What is up with that?
She does not, because she can't stand him. because he's so
Right.
mean to her. So she's kind
Well,
of like,
yeah. Ugh.
she's freaking out because, it doesn't look good.
Right.
But let me tell you something. If I don't think if she thought it didn't look bad, that I think she would have continued her trip to Paris.
Really? You think she's that shallow?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. She
I don't
did
call her at home, but I
and
just
try.
know that I saw no tears. So don't you go to
She
your
just
own
feels. I think
assumptions
she just feels stupid.
or in
So that's
shock, maybe?
maybe she's in shock. Yeah. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I'll give her the benefit. I'll give her the
I'm gonna
shock.
give her grace.
I'm going to give her grace.
All right. So, one other little side note on this movie is that there's this next door neighbor I mentioned before, Old Man Marley, who is this rumor that he's an evil guy and he's a masher,
That he
slayer,
killed
or
his whole
whatever,
family.
killed his whole family, blah, blah, blah. But we find out that he's just estranged from his son because they got in a huge argument and oh my God. And
They haven't spoken in years.
they haven't spoken and he's afraid that if he tries to call him on the phone, Kevin ends up sitting next to him at the church. On Christmas Eve. And it's just very heartwarming and cute.
So sweet.
And Kevin starts giving him all the advice, like out of the mouths of babes.
Yoda.
It's like he's Yoda.
Why don't you call him? Well, what if he doesn't want to talk to me? Well, you'll never know if you don't try. And this is also
he goes, I'm afraid. And he goes, aren't you a little too old to be afraid?
Said by the little tiny sociopath Unabomber.
He's like,
that we love.
Right. You should call your son. Yeah.
Call your son.
LOLing at this. Yeah.
But we also forgot to mention that he's also really great with like audio and what he did to the pizza delivery boy, like, get out of here, you filthy animal. I mean, he's
get out of here, you filthy animal.
He is a technological savant.
Yes.
And this is in 1990, and he's able to like do voiceovers and terrify this poor delivery boy with because he doesn't have any money, he needs free pizza.
Yeah.
So the delivery boy there's this scene from an old movie.
Yeah.
Where they have those Tommy guns and he gets fireworks, puts them in a pot.
Yeah.
So it makes his kid think that he's being actually shot at by a machine gun.
Yeah. The delivery boy. Yeah.
And he just leaves the pizzas.
Yeah, he leaves the pizza.
Kevin's like, got my din-din.
Yep.
And that kid has literally soiled himself and is on his way home.
In his Volvo, in his mom's old Volvo.
Yes.
He wakes up. It's a full-on standoff at this point because Kevin knows that the robbers are bad dudes and they're coming for him because he's been seeing through the windows and he's
set up like a pretend party with all the mannequins.
Yeah. And
like he's a literal puppet master.
It's the scene where he's got he's got the ropes and the pulleys and the whole little deal. And I'm like, I love this
genius.
Kid. I love this kid.
He's amazing.
Yeah. So he wakes up Christmas morning. Am I missing anything? He wakes up Christmas morning.
You need to go through. You need the meat and potatoes of this, or the burglars.
Yeah, the full on standoff.
These men want to kill his little boy,
and
they want
Kevin
him dead.
And Kevin is loaded for bear. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Kevin has thought of everything, and he is like, I am anticipating their every move, and I've got something for them. And he damn near kills them. I mean, he
does, but then they outsmart him too.
And then he does.
8-year-olds can only go so long before the adults catch up and figure out their master, or maybe they saw the unbelievable blueprint that he had created of all of his booby traps. Which, by the way, Janet, she's a friend of the show, made me the blueprint, recreated the blueprint that Kevin McAllister made, and it's framed.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
You must take a picture of that and share it on Instagram. Like that is amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Now that I have watched this movie and I've seen the blueprint, I know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh my God.
Where he rolls it out on a table. Like he's got to get started. You know how long that must have taken just to make that blueprint?
I love it.
This guy beats time.
I know. He's a genius.
This kid has got the it, man.
He's got it. He's got it.
He thinks he's outsmarted them. Then he almost gets murdered, and then he gets rescued. So everything is great. And then,
but he's also smart.
A lot of forgiveness is coming. He's going to have to muster up eventually.
Yes. He starts to feel pretty bad because he realizes he's missing his family and it's Christmas, and he's like, even though he's pretty self-sufficient, he was a little jerk, So he does outsmart the robbers, though, because he calls the cops and says, my house is being robbed. Now, why couldn't he have called the cops before?
He didn't want to. He wanted to mess with and torture these people.
So anyway, and he goes across the street to the house that has been robbed, that they turned on the water and the water is overflowing. And that's where he gets caught by the robbers. But Luckily, the cops go to that house instead of going to his house. So that is one little good thing that he did. But then,
but what was your favorite booby trap?
My favorite booby trap absolutely is the party. The fake party.
I love the ornament. I love that when after Daniel Stern steps on the nail, because he's already gone through the tar.
Yes.
So it took his socks off.
Yes.
The tar in his shoes.
Yes.
And then he steps on the nail, and then the iron hits him in the face with the nail. And then my favorite is when he like crawls through a window by the Christmas tree. There's like a plethora of ornaments on the bottom. He's barefoot, and you just see like broken. This pop, pop, and like you just you're like, dude.
Ouch.
Dude, that, and I always loved the head catching on Joe Pesci's head catching on fire.
It just seems so painful to me.
And the paint cans.
Oh my gosh, the paint cans were brilliant. Yes, the paint cans coming down and hitting him on the head, bonking him on the head.
Well, they missed it at first, and then
boing,
knocked out a tooth.
Yeah, or knocked out his gold tooth.
Yes.
Right? Yep. Well, anyway, the movie is
the best.
Adorable. It's hilarious. It's heartfelt. It's all the things you want for Christmas and more, with a great freaking soundtrack by John Williams, by the way.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I used to have the Nintendo game. I can actually send you a picture of me opening for my birthday. I got the Home Alone Super Nintendo game. And I'm doing the Home Alone face with it. Yeah, my dad sent that in a random text group the other day. So I actually have it on hand.
The other day?
Yeah, my hair is atrocious, but I will send it to you anyway.
How old were you? You were like 6 years old?
90. I'm like 9 or 10.
Oh my gosh.
But I look 40 for some weird reason. And I never looked much older in my age, except for there's another little kid picture that Scott saw. And he was like, why does you look like your body's attached to like much older lady legs? Because they were all bruised up. He was like, I was like, that's not, those are, I had chicken legs. He's like, that's not in this photo with these bruised old lady legs on this like little body.
Yeah. Why did you were just
I was just an outdoor kid.
You were just rough and tumble. You just always had. So
you have a stop?
I just, no, I don't have a chick stop actually. I hadn't even thought of a chick stop, but, maybe we could dedicate.
I have one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Chicka chicka.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I had the magical experience of seeing Wicked this week. And I actually have to I want to talk about Ariana Grande. Now, Cynthia Erivo. She's already, we know, like she's almost on the verge of an EGOT. Okay. She's spectacular. And she's spectacular in this movie as well.
Spectacular.
But I did not know if Ariana Grande, I knew she was talented. I knew she was funny.
Yeah.
But this girl has gone from 0 to 100 to where now she just skipped all these like weird beginning movies. She is like already probably reading a Scorsese script based on her performance.
Really?
Ariana Grande. Yeah. It is so wonderful. It is so good. Scott loved it. And
I'm so glad.
Ariana Grande, I was not sure. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Now it's hard to take anything away from Cynthia, of course.
Because
but you didn't expect this from Ariana Grande. You don't. That was the wild card.
Yeah, you weren't sure.
She couldn't have been like more perfect. This girl has chops. Like she is going to. She's just about to fly all the way to the top.
Well,
and Bo and Yang in this movie
already at the top. I mean, she's
we
already.
Didn't know about this is for the acting world. I didn't know that she would. Was that good? But also Bo and Yang. A gift from God.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we already love Bo and Yang.
We already love, and I love his podcast, Las Culturistas. I love him, Matt Rogers.
Listen to it. Yeah,
it's so hilarious. You should listen to it with Ariana Grande.
What's his podcast called?
Las Culturistas. It's Bo and Yang and Matt Rogers, buddies.
Okay.
It's so good. Justin Sharp had told me about it, and I forgot about it. And then Penny. Anyway, I love it. So funny. But this movie is literally pure magic, and it is. All the hype, 1,000,000%.
Oh,
and
I'm
these
so
women,
glad.
I get goosebumps thinking about these women and their performances and their acting. It's just like, it has not like defying gravity. I've seen these memes is holding space within me. Like,
oh my God.
The song Defying Gravity it is holding space in my chest.
God.
Like, it is so good. I could not, and we went in this like early premiere.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do I wanted to see all the theater kids and like all the costumes, but not have them singing, during the show. But we didn't see any of that. And I don't know if that's probably just Arkansas. Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna go again, and I just have to see. I have to do it again. It's just sensational.
I was like, if I didn't have a gig last night, I was like, I want to go see Wicked, but
try to go to the IMAX if you can.
Oh,
you'll have an IMAX.
Yeah, we do. We've got several. Yeah. Did you see it in 3D or is it just regular?
No. Okay. I can't do 3D. Yeah. No. Just IMAX.
Okay. I'll try to do it. Yeah, that's a good thing to go do like this week, Thanksgiving week.
It's really something else.
Okay. Well, that's great.
And I thought that way with Barbie.
Yeah.
This blows that out of the, it's just different. Yeah. These are different. This is a musical. It's different.
Yeah, for sure.
This is all the feels.
Well, and I've heard too that just from a singer standpoint, some of the vocalists that I know have posted about it and have said that they absolutely love that Cynthia Erivo is such a true singer and that her usage of, I know this is so dorky right now, but like her ooh vowels are really, really nice.
Yeah. Well, they all sang live.
Yeah.
They had microphones. This is like, they did this literally like a recorded Broadway show.
Yeah.
So each song performance was live.
Wow.
In that scene.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's all like, you can see them like they're singing. It's all real. They're all really singing and dancing.
Well, and I think that that's, so interesting because there is no reason if people are really, really good singers, there's no reason to overdub or to lip sync in those controlled environments.
I think it depends on the director wanting like a perfect timing of a scene hitting. And it's like about spending too much time perfecting where things land, not even with the song, but like, because, when a big note hits, like a CGI effect will happen and stuff like that. But they didn't use a lot of CGI. It's like, these were real sets that they built, but like in a lot of movies where you don't have the time to, they make it, they record it, pre-record so that they have, it's easier. It's just easier to put together.
Yeah. But like, was the Wizard of Oz pre-recorded? I don't know if it was or not back in those days.
Did she lip sync? I don't know.
I doubt it. I don't know. That would be a good thing to search for. Anyway, if you
Elvis had to lip sync in his movies.
Yeah, he did.
There's a really great Elvis documentary on Netflix right now, a new one.
Oh yeah.
It's really, really good.
Okay. Well, that's great. So, dude, this has been such a fun chat about Home Alone because I love it so much. And I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did. And Kevin at the very end is like, mommy, oh, I love you. And it's sweet. It's beautiful. And he's sweet. And then the whole family comes back and it's just like, oh, everybody's back and it's Christmas and it's snowing and it's delightful. And I want snow and I want to go put up my Christmas tree right now.
It's very dear.
Do you have your Christmas stuff up yet, Natalie?
No? Scott doesn't do that. It's how we do it after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Or like the weekend after or something.
I'm thinking about like pre-Thanksgiving getting my tree up. I know.
You should do whatever makes you happy and give you get you in the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
At this point in our lives.
In the way the world is right now.
Who cares?
Just
do what you want to do.
Get it done.
Enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Take a load off.
Have
a fireball.
Yes,
if you want.
Yes, have a fireball if you want or not. Whatever you want to do.
Get some nog. If you want to drink a nog,
oh my gosh. I already had a nog actually.
I haven't had any nog yet. I want to do a nog on Thanksgiving.
Adam was like, I'm sorry,
I don't do dairy very well anymore.
Store nog.
Do they have almond milk
nog? They
do.
do. And it's delicious.
Okay, I'll do that.
Adam was like, he has this cute little market by his house that does like in-store nog.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the store nog is so much better than the homemade nog that I've made. And I'm like, yeah there's no reason to make
a lot of energy for just to go buy, and you can just go buy some really great nog.
Although I will say I made some waffles yesterday for Frank because he was like, I need waffles right now. And I was like, okay. So I followed this recipe. This is so off the topic, but I was just thinking about egg whites. You beat the egg whites until they have stiff peaks, and then you fold them into the batter and and it also had a whole stick of butter in it. But oh my God.
I love butter.
But his cholesterol's fine. He's doing fine.
Yeah, he's doing
Everybody has taken the pills and he's doing fine. So don't come at me like your husband had a heart attack this year. What are you doing giving him a whole stick of butter?
Everybody cool out.
Waffle? Everybody just cool out.
Everybody cool out.
Chill out.
Cool out.
Just cool it.
Cool out.
He's fine. But
I wrote this song. So Sweet Caroline. It's the Will Ferrell doing Neil Diamond.
Got it. Everybody just cool out. So anyway, definitely everybody make homemade waffles, but buy store-bought nog. I can't talk.
Eggnog.
You want some
Eggnog.
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 Eggnog. On that note, Natalie, to you, I will say, it's been wonderful talking to you.
As always.
Namaste. Not fiddling around when it comes to pizza. Okay? Not fiddling around.
Well, happy holidays to you. And I miss you and I love you. And I will say to you, namaste. You're what the French called les incompétents.
Oh, thanks a lot. Everybody, if you love Put Your Books Down, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Don't forget to follow us, share with your friends, and have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And we're moving into the holidays. I think this airs after Thanksgiving, so moving into December. Have a wonderful,
deep breaths, everyone.
Deep breaths. Just
lead with love.
Lead with love. Keep it rolling. Everybody, have a great, great week, and we'll see you
and thank you
next
so much.
time. Okay, love you.
Right. I love
Bye.
you.
Bye. Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.